Hello everyone and welcome to another What's for Dinner on WW or Weight Watchers. In this video I'm going to be showing you what we had for dinner this week on Weight Watchers, as well as giving you Weight Watcher points, calories, and macros for these meals. Be sure to check down in the description box of this video where, as always, I will have the full list of ingredients, instructions on how to make these meals, additional nutritional information, as well as WW recipe builder links where if you are a WW member and you click on that link, it will take you directly to the WW app and my recipe in my recipe builder. But let's jump in and see what we had for dinner this week. First up is one pan cheesy fajitas. I love this one because it comes together really quickly. So if you're looking for something that you just need to throw together in a few minutes, this one is definitely that. Plus it is a one pan, which just means less dishes, which I also love. This one starts with a 13 by 9 inch casserole dish that I've sprayed with a little bit of cooking spray. Then I'm gonna add in a couple pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breasts that I've just kind of cut into strips. You could also do this as whole breasts if you want, but I like to have the kind of pieces in there to make it more like fajitas and easier to dish out and eat. So I'm gonna just arrange those in there on the bottom of the pan. And then in a medium-sized bowl, I'm gonna add a brick of a third less fat cream cheese, a little bit of Greek yogurt, and some fresh salsa. This is the one that I use right here, this Member's Mark. Really love that stuff. And then I'm gonna add in some fajita seasoning. That's half of a package, or a packet of fajita seasoning. Then I'm gonna mix all of that together really well until it's well combined, like that. And then I'm gonna take it and I'm going to put it on top of my chicken breasts. Then I'm gonna kind of spread that out as evenly on top there as I can, trying to cover all of the chicken. Next up, I'm gonna add some sliced bell pepper. I've got about the equivalent of 2 there between the 3 different colors. And then I'm gonna add a half of an onion on there that I've sliced. And then finally, some low-fat Mexican-style blend cheese. I'm gonna bake this uncovered at 375 for about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, or until that chicken reaches an internal temp of 165. And here's what it looks like when it is done. So the last few minutes of that, I went ahead and cooked some asparagus here. That only took about 10 minutes. And then I've also got some brown rice going in my rice cooker here. And here is dinner tonight. I've got a serving of the cheesy chicken fajitas there, which is a 1/6 of the total, and that is 6 points. We went ahead and just had it on some brown rice. I've got a half cup of brown rice there, which is 3 points. And then we also had the asparagus on the side there, which is 0 points. That is gonna make dinner total for tonight 9 points. And the calories and macros that I'm gonna be having on the screen, I calculated through MyFitnessPal. Next up, we had breakfast for dinner with this breakfast sheet pan pizza. I love doing the sheet pan dinners. They're just kind of a fun, easy way to do dinner. I've done the sheet pan pizzas before, but this was the first time I did a breakfast version of it, and it turned out pretty yummy. This starts with a batch of 2 ingredient dough, which is just a cup of self-rising flour and 3/4 cup fat-free Greek yogurt. I then add a little bit of granulated garlic to that and then stir all that together until a dough starts to form. At which point I take that and then I knead it for a good 5 minutes. I really do think the kneading makes a big difference in how this dough is to work with. If you don't knead it, it's gonna be a lot more difficult to work with. Once I've got that kneaded, I am going to roll it out into the shape of my cookie sheet, or as close to it as I can get. And I'm just using a 13 by 18 cookie sheet. I'm gonna take that cookie sheet, spritz it with a little bit of olive oil, and then I'm gonna place my dough on it. And this dough is really easy to kind of work with and maneuver around to where you want it. So I kind of just move this around to fit the shape of my cookie sheet the best that I can. And if it tears or anything, it's real easy to just kind of push it back together. So I get that all on my cookie sheet, and then I spritz the top of it with a little more olive oil. And then I'm gonna bake this in my preheated oven at 425 for about 5 minutes to get a seal on it. So now in a small bowl, I'm gonna take 8 eggs. I'm gonna whip those up really well. And then in a large frying pan that I've spritzed with a little bit of olive oil, I'm gonna cook those until they're just a little bit underdone because they are gonna cook more in the oven. So over here I've got some veggies I've chopped up, a little bell pepper and red onion, and then I've got 20 slices of this Canadian bacon. You definitely don't need this stuff right here. You definitely don't need that much, but I needed to use that package up, so I used all 20 slices of this. This is what my eggs look like when they were done. So I went ahead and took those off the heat. Here's my pizza dough that I let cook for 5 minutes, and that is just to create a seal, like I said before, so that when you put the toppings on this, it's not gonna get as soggy as it would otherwise. So I'm gonna start with putting a little bit of that fresh cilantro salsa on here, and that is gonna basically be my sauce. I'm gonna just spread that on there as evenly as possible. And then I'm gonna add my eggs on as evenly as possible. I used 8 eggs. You could probably use a little more than this, to be honest. I almost did, but I would say you could use upwards of even 12 to get a little better coverage there. But I had a ton of Canadian bacon, so it actually worked out pretty well to not have as much eggs. So I'm gonna spread all that Canadian bacon out there as evenly as I can. And then I'm gonna add some of this reduced fat, sharp cheddar cheese shreds. And I'm using a cup of it. And then I'm gonna add my veggies, my onions and my bell peppers. And you could put whatever you want on this. This is just what I typically always have on hand, onions and bell peppers. So I put those on there and it tasted really good. Almost like a Denver omelet. And then on one side, for a little extra heat, I'm gonna add some jalapeno peppers. Then I'm gonna add black pepper to the entire pizza. And some red or crushed red pepper flakes to one side. Again, for just a little extra heat. My son would not appreciate that, so I didn't put it on his side. And then finally, just a little bit more of that granulated garlic on top. And then I'm gonna bake this at 425 again for about 15 to 20 minutes. Mine took around 18, or until it looks like this. And here is dinner. I've got a slice of that pizza, which is 1/8 of the total, and it is 4 points for that. Along with it, I just had a couple mandarins. I've been really loving these mandarins. They're so good. They taste like candy, I swear. When you get good ones, they're just delicious. So I had a couple of those with my pizza for 0 points. So altogether then, my dinner total for tonight was 4 points. But this pizza, it was really good. We really enjoyed it. My son liked it. So definitely one that I will be doing again in the future. And lastly for this week was a new recipe. This is a 1-pot kielbasa spinach soup. I will be sure to link the website where I found this recipe so you can check that out. But I followed it pretty closely. I don't think I changed it all that much. Now this one was about as easy as it gets. And even better, it was a 1-pot, like I said before, less dishes. I love those. But yeah, this one's super, super easy. It came together very quickly, but was really good. This starts with a large pot, and to that you're gonna add in some chicken broth, 10 ounces of frozen chopped spinach, and then I'm gonna add in some of this uncured turkey sausage, the Oscar Mayer, and I just chopped that up into little bite-sized pieces. I'm gonna give this a stir, and then I'm gonna bring this to a boil. Once that comes to a boil, I'm gonna add in some drained and rinsed Great Northern beans, and then some macaroni noodles. I'm gonna stir that up, turn down the heat, and let this continue to simmer for about 7 minutes or so, or until that pasta has absorbed some of that liquid and is softened. Once my pasta is cooked, I'm gonna add in a little bit of hot sauce. This is optional. Give that a quick stir, and then this is ready to eat. Okay, I've got a serving of this. I went ahead and measured out how much this makes exactly. It makes just right at 8 cups. So I factored it in the recipe builder at 6 servings of 1 1/3 cup, which is what I've got here. And that is 5 points. Along with it, we're just gonna have a little side salad for 0 points, and then some of this zesty Italian fat-free dressing. Probably gonna use a serving of that, which is a tablespoon, no, 2 tablespoons for a point. So that's gonna make dinner total for tonight 6 points, but since this is a new one, thought I'd have my hubby give it a try, see what he thinks of it. And as usual, there's Rocky.
Smells good.
Bella's hiding around the corner. Let me see if I can get her. Here she is. She's peeking. Here she comes. Yeah, it smells really good.
Be sure not to lick my fingers.
Oh.
Yeah, it's got a really hearty flavor, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. And I don't know because I haven't tried it, but
so you get the kielbasa and the spinach up front, and then what are these?
that is Great Northern beans. The recipe called for, I can't say the canna, whatever. I don't know.
You get the Great Northern beans.
A different bean.
On the back end. Now my initial impression is it's very salty.
Really?
Yeah. But I'm salt sensitive.
Now it's got chicken broth. That's the only thing.
And the kielbasa.
Well, oh, that's true. The kielbasa. So I guess if you're salt sensitive, you would want to use a low sodium chicken broth, which is probably a good idea anyway. I just make my own, and I use those bouillon cubes.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. Okay. And I don't think the mortal American would think that was salty.
Okay.
I know my mother wouldn't. She put salt in it.
And I'm gonna guess I'm not gonna find it salty either, but so 5 points for that. What do you think?
Oh, dude, totally.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to have that again.
All right, we'll just do it with low sodium chicken broth. And that was everything we had for dinner this week on Weight Watchers. As I said before, be sure to check down in the description box below for all the info on all of these meals. I hope maybe this was helpful to you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.